Welcome back, seekers of history's darkest truths. Tonight, we open the book of death itself, a chronicle of the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1352, the Great Pestilence consumed continents. From Central Asia to North Africa, from Sicily to Scandinavia, it left almost 100 million corpses in its wake. Florence, Paris, London, more than half their people gone. Entire villages abandoned. Mass graves filled faster than the priests could bless them. But the scythe of the plague did not stop at peasants and beggars. It cut down kings, queens, princes, and princesses. Crown jewels and golden thrones offered no protection. And as each royal life ended, alliances collapsed, wars shifted, dynasties broke. Tonight, we meet 21 royals who fell to plague and through their deaths. Watch how Europe itself was reshaped. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because tonight, history is not glory, it is grief. The first royal casualty, Alfonso XI of Castile. It is the year 1350. King Alfonso XI of Castile is camped at Gibraltar, leading a campaign against the Moors. His banners fly high, his knights gleam in the sun, and victory seems certain. But in his camp, an invisible enemy spreads. One by one, soldiers fall with fever and swelling buboes. Soon the king himself sickens. His men watch in horror as the proud monarch, only 39 years old, writhes in agony. No physician can save him. On Good Friday, Alfonso XI breathes his last. He is the only reigning European king recorded to have died of the Black Death. His sudden death throws Castile into chaos. His heir, Peter, ascends the throne. History will remember him not as a savior, but as Peter the Cruel, a tyrant whose brutal rule plunges Spain into decades of bloodshed, all because the plague claimed the king. The princes who never married. Joan of England. Now let us sail north to England, to the court of Edward III. Among his many children is Princess Joan, bright-eyed, only 14 years old. She is promised in marriage to King Pedro of Castile. The match is political genius. It would unite England and Spain against France. In 1348, Joan embarks on her journey. Her ship lands at Bordeaux, and for a moment, destiny seems secure. But Bordeaux is already infected. Within days, Joan falls ill. The chronicles say she suffered a fever of pestilence. Buboes swelled. Her young body could not fight. She died far from home. Her wedding dress never worn. Her alliance never sealed. Her father Edward was crushed. He wrote letters of mourning, crying that his tears fell for the daughter who had been taken before she could know life. And with her death, the great Anglo-Castilian alliance, an alliance that could have changed the 100 Years' War, was gone. France in mourning. Queen Jean of Navarre. In Paris, 1349, the bells of Notre Dame rang not for coronation, but for funerals. So many funerals that chroniclers wrote, the bells never ceased. Among the dead was Queen Jean of Navarre, wife of King Philip VI of France. She had tried to reassure her people that God's mercy would shield them. Yet even the royal palace could not keep out the pestilence. One morning she collapsed, her body racked with fever, her breath shallow. Within days, she was gone. Her death was more than personal tragedy. It weakened her husband's legitimacy during the 100 Years' War. France lost not just its queen, but its symbol of stability. Whispers spread through Paris. If even the queen could die, what hope was left for the people? Hungary's broken marriages. In Hungary, the royal court of Louis I was struck. 2 of his sisters died in plague outbreaks. Their deaths shattered diplomatic marriages carefully arranged by their mother, Queen Elizabeth of Poland. Those marriages had been intended to cement alliances across Central Europe. Without them, Hungary stood more isolated, more vulnerable to enemies. Once again, a royal death reshaped the nation's path. Austria's lost princess, Catherine of Habsburg. Farther west, in the Tyrol, Duchess Catherine of Austria-Young, hopeful destined to marry into Bavaria, was struck down in 1349. Her betrothal dissolved into ashes. Instead of uniting two powerful houses, her death reopened rivalry between Austria and Bavaria. The Habsburgs, one of Europe's greatest dynasties, were forced to rethink their alliances. All because of a single girl lost to plague. Aragon's queen, Eleanor, in Aragon. Queen Eleanor, beloved wife of Peter IV, fell to the plague in 1348. Her death left the king devastated, his succession uncertain. Chroniclers note that the palace was emptied of laughter, filled only with prayers. It was as though death itself had taken the queen to remind kings that their crowns meant nothing. The Burgundian heir, Louis of Burgundy. In Burgundy, a young prince named Louis, full of promise, was claimed by the pestilence. His death tore open inheritance disputes. Burgundy, one of the richest regions in Europe, was left without a clear heir. And into that void stepped rivals, each ready to fight for land, for wealth, for power. Plague had done what no army could. It had toppled the line of succession. These are but the first shadows. Kings, queens, princesses, princes one by one, they fell. And with every royal death, the balance of Europe shifted. But we are not done. For the scythe of the Black Death cut far deeper, across Scandinavia, England, France, and Italy. And its victims among royalty numbered many more. Stay with me, because next we meet the royals of the North, and the queen whose death inspired one of the greatest poems in English literature.